sucking on a sucker I got from the doctor's office, a green apple one. But I'm on my way back to the house. I'm coming back from the eye doctor, and they did dilate my eyes today. Anyways, I was going to tell y'all something right fast on a short video that happened to me when I was in the eye doctor. I don't know why they dilate my eyes whenever I tell them I'm the one that has to drive and stuff. But I knew I wouldn't be able to see that great, and I knew I had to wear sunglasses for a few hours afterwards or whatever. The only thing good, we'll go ahead and put out the good from this doctor's appointment out there. I picked out a pretty pair of glasses, or I think they're pretty. But anyways, I won't get them for a couple weeks. They were a cheaper pair. My insurance is not covering as much as it used to, where I had to switch insurance about a year ago, or this past year or so, or whatever. And then, so it was like anything under $90 pretty much for a set of glasses and the frames or whatever. But my vision's gotten worse, and I am gonna have to have like bifocals. It's gotten a little bit worse. It's been a couple years, so, and I am bad about not wearing my glasses and stuff, so it's my own fault. But anyways, I'm gonna have to wear bifocals on, I think it's my left eye, because usually my left eye is trash. And so, but they said you wouldn't even be able to see it, so that's a good thing. But what happened to me on the way into the eye doctor's appointment, and I live in a very rural place, a very small town, and everybody kind of pretty much knows a little bit of something about everybody, you know, or is aware of everybody or whatever. So before I even went in, I made y'all another video, and I'm going to post it, try to post them all at the same time. And I'm sorry, my eyeballs is blinking, and it's driving me nuts, and twitching and stuff. Oh goodness. But anyways, whenever I went in, this girl that I knew of or whatever, and I didn't have a problem with her or anything. This is what I'm trying to say about living in a small area, a small town. And it's just sucky, to say the least. But I didn't have no issues with this girl. I ain't even gonna get into it about this girl. But I don't have no issues with her or nothing. Y'all have to watch my other video. It kind of goes along with this, what I was talking about. And I'm not going to repeat myself. But anyways, she was coming out, and I just said, hello, you know, hello, or whatever. When she's coming out the door, you know, just being friendly, or whatever. And, because, I mean, I recognized her, or whatever. And she sat down right next to me. She wasn't mean or nothing, but I know of this girl, and I know of her personality or whatever, and I'm not going to get into it or anything. But anyway, she sat down next to me, and she was just like, I didn't hear her, because I do have trouble with my hearing and stuff. I've had trouble with my hearing ever since I had chemo. My hearing's gotten worse, and then too, I grew up in a household when I was younger, and well, I don't want to get into that either, but there's just all kinds of issues with my hearing. My hearing is not the best in the world, and it has a lot to do with different things, but especially my eyes are hurting me. Ever since I had chemo and stuff, it's gotten worse. So she sat down beside of me, and she just sorry, I had to burp or whatever, but she was pretty much just like, excuse me, I'm burping, but she's like, I'm surprised you even talked to me. And I didn't hear her when she said that, because like I said, I have trouble with my hearing. I have a lot of issues or whatever, but I'm working on them all. But anyways, she was just like, I'm surprised you even talked to me. I was just like, I didn't hear. I was just like, you know. I just was in lolly and jolly land or whatever, you know, whatever. And I was just thinking, you know, she's been friendly because she sat beside me or whatever, and where I told her hello. And I don't want to give too much information because in case if she does watch my channel where she is a local, and I'm not trying to stir up nothing or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck's going on, to be honest with y'all, more or less, or whatever. And usually I don't even stir into all this drama. And I know I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say, because we all have opinions, especially here locally, of each other. And we all, unfortunately, do have reputations. And living in like a rural place like where I live at, unfortunately, doesn't matter who you are, what you are, whatever it is, you have whatever kind of reputation you have, you know, pretty much after you get out of high school, or even in high school, for the rest of your life, like living in places like this. So obviously we both have opinions of each other, but I didn't cater to, I don't get involved with crap like that. And I don't go by anyone else's opinions or whatever of people or whatever, so to speak. There's the water from the bridge here where it rained. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, or it rained overnight. It's kind of trying to flood a little bit. But anyways, so she was, and I don't want to say what her job was, that'll give it away. But anyways, so I'm not even going to say that. But there's more to it. I'm just going to give you the basics or whatever. So her and someone else sit down beside me, and she said what she said, but I didn't hear her. Like I said, I was just in lolly jolly land or whatever. And then she's like, did you hear me? And I was like, huh? You know? And then she's like, I didn't even think you would talk to me. And I was like, huh? You know, I was just like confused or whatever. Still am. And I was just like, because then I heard her, you know. And then she's like, yeah, I didn't even think you would speak to me. And I was just like, you know, I didn't know what was going on. And then they called my name, or hollered my name, for me to come into the eye doctor's appointment. Let me turn this vehicle in the park or whatever. And she was also with somebody, and she was having to do her job, and so she had to go with that person. And anyways, I looked back there because I wanted her to finish her conversation to see what was going on, you know, and stuff. But anyway, she was like, she hollered back at me whenever they hollered for me, because at first I didn't know it was me. I didn't remember doing that, and I must have told them on my medical records to put my name down as Jess, you know. And so I was just like, hi, are y'all talking to me? You know, because most people around here call me JC. And I didn't remember doing that. So anyways, it was like, Jess, and I was like, you mean me? And you mean Jessica Adams? And JC? And I was like, Jess? And I was like, I guess you mean me. And so I started walking up there, and I looked back, and I was like, you know, kind of like, do you have something you want to say to me? Because I'm completely confused, you know. And so she just hollered back at me, and she was like, I'll talk to you later about it or whatever. So now I'm thinking, because it is such a small place, and that story I did on the other video before this one, on the drive downtown Whitesburg, I'm just trying to figure out if that has something to do with it, because that's the only thing I can think of that might have something to do with it or something. But it's really got me. I'm not upset with her. I don't know what she's talking about. And she lives very, very close by to me too. And I've never had an issue with her. I mean, I've always kind of thought of her as a friend or whatever, you know. Or we know of each other or whatever. Like I said, I live in a very, very, very small place. And so I'm just trying to figure out, there's all kinds of stuff rotating in my head. Because now I'm just trying to figure out, and I'm not mad at her. And I'm not going to be mad at her either way, you know. I just don't know what's going on. The only thing I can think of is it might have something to do where I was talking about in the other video about how people around here are. They don't want you to film and stuff for social medias. And it might have something to do with my youngest daughter in that aspect. But I could be completely wrong. So, I don't really know. And I don't want to say nothing else about this person. But, we'll just say this person is different. And she's been known, not by me, but by other people, of kind of, my eyes are killing me, and I'm not afraid or nothing like that. That ain't why I'm talking about this. But she's been known to start the D word, the D, or D-R-A-M, you know, A, or whatever. So, and I don't want to put her like that, because I don't judge people, or I try not to. I don't judge people by other people's opinions, not even around here where I lived all my life or nothing. So, I have no clue what's going on. And yeah, I probably will. I don't know what I did to the camera just now, but I'm going to finish recording it, or try to. It went down. There. It went back up. But anyways, obviously where I am a mother, I probably will get upset if it has to do with either one of my children. But I can't think of why necessarily it would. And I can't think of anything else it would be, you know. Or it might be another family member or something like that. But I don't give a crap, you know. So, I have no clue. But this is all the more reason why I hate living here. And I want to get out of here. And just like the weather. Just like looking around at the weather today and stuff. I mean, it poured the rain last night. It started sleeting today. It's trying to snow. It's really cold right now. And you get sick all the time, or I do, with allergies and different things, because I think it's because of the rotation and stuff in the weather, because the weather's so bipolar, and it'll be like hot and sunny 1 second, and then a few hours later it'll be like pouring the snow. So I hate it. But anyways, I just wanted to kind of tell y'all that, because I really do think it has something to do. And another thing she said too while she was sitting there, she wasn't sitting there that long or nothing, but she said, which that might give it away, I might not should say that, but I didn't say nothing bad, so whatever. So she said, and I did hear her say that, she said, I have to go to Lexington today. Well, where we live at, if you're saying you have to go to Lexington, she had to do it for her job. Anyways, she had to go to Lexington, and all I said to her was, I said, oh, and that's all I said it to. I said, oh, I'm so sorry. I feel so bad for you, you know, because I do, you know, and I didn't hear her say the other stuff beforehand or whatever. And I feel bad for her, because I feel bad for anybody that has to drive that far and stuff, because Lexington is about 3 or 4 hours away from me, and away from her too, you know, because she lives really close by. And it's not my other friend. I'm not talking about her or whatever. She knows this. But whatever, that lives close by to me. It's a different person. And you probably know who this is if you watch this video. But anyways, I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm just trying to figure it out. And it's really kind of stressing me out right now. Because especially if it has something to do, y'all know as mothers, if it has something to do, that's when your claws come out. And I don't know what it would be, but either way, you know, when it has something to do with one of your children. and stuff either way. But I'm just kind of thinking, I'm assuming this, and I might be wrong, you know, but I'm thinking it might have something to do with what I was talking about on the other video I plan on posting. So these are kind of go together, even though they're not on the same video or whatever. I don't know how to edit, you all, and I don't ever plan on, even if I get bigger and bigger and bigger, I don't ever plan on editing my videos. So it is what it is. But yeah, I'm just kind of confused by it, and I'm wanting to know what's happening, what's going on. And I don't get involved with, anyone who knows me, I don't get involved with stuff like that. So I don't know, I just needed to vent a little bit. So I don't know, I don't have a clue, and it's really frustrating me. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope y'all have a good rest of your all's day. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Love y'all. Thanks. Bye-bye.